In a world where true crime meets the supernatural and the unexplained.
Where true crime and chills go hand in hand.
Welcome to Total Conundrum, the podcast that explores the dark, the eerie, and the downright mysterious.
Join us as we embark on a spine-tingling journey through the mysteries that keep you up at night.
We're diving deep into true crime stories, uncovering the most baffling cases, and exploring the twisted minds behind them.
But we don't stop there. We're also exploring the paranormal, from haunted houses to cryptids and all the creepy things that go bump in the night. Get ready for some supernatural thrills.
And what sets us apart? Prepare for a dose of dark humor as we navigate through the creepy and bizarre.
We've got it all. Bone-chilling tales, banter, and mind-boggling conundrums. You won't know whether to scream or laugh.
So grab your favorite snack, turn down the lights, and join us for a roller coaster ride of true crime and the supernatural, sprinkled with a bit of comic banter.
Stay curious, stay captivated, and let's dive into the world of Total Conundrum.
Now available on your favorite podcast platform. Get ready to be captivated, creeped out, and cracked up with Total Conundrum. Thanks for hanging out with us here at Total Conundrum. Please make sure to check out our website and blog at totalconundrum.com for news, upcoming events, merch, bloopers, and additional hysteria. You never know what will pop up, so be sure to follow along. If you want to show your support for Total Conundrum and gain access to all of our bonus content, please visit our Patreon page. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The links are available in our show notes. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, or stories to share, please email us at contact@totalconundrum.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate the love. Keep on creeping on, mother cluckers.
I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian.
And we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
How's it going? Thanks
you
for
doing?
joining us for another week, episode 95. We're only 5 away
5 more episodes.
from the big 1-0.
What are we going to do for 1-0?
I don't know yet. I have a thought, but I have to see if we're going to have enough money and then if I can get your mother to help us. So
Right.
we'll have to see. We'll have to
Okay.
see how that goes. Christmas is coming, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks. Our 100th is like right at Christmas and New Year's. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We shall see. We shall see.
Right.
All right, guys. If let's do some little business real quick. Let me pull up some notes because I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to say, even though I've done this almost 100 times.
If you're hearing this, you missed out on $10 t-shirts, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And today will be, I'm pretty sure, the last day for $7.25 t-shirts. Nope, tomorrow is the last day for $7.25 t-shirts. I'll get there. If you are a fan of history, especially the history that some people would prefer you ignore, give our show Rethinking Our History a listen. It can be found anywhere you find this show. If you would be so kind, please give us a follow and share on the social medias, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, as well as Blue Sky. Videos of these episodes can be found on YouTube. For all of those, just type in The Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you would like to support the making of this podcast, we have a couple ways you can do so. First, we have a merch shop at theparanormallovers.threadless.com. As Ian had so eloquently said, you missed the $10 tees. But till tomorrow, we still have $12.50 t-shirts, and I'm not sure what else is going on in that sale, but y'all go there and check it out. You'll be able to see.
Them out.
Yeah, see, he's got on one of our shirts. How you like that spooky thing? I don't think I've taken those off yet, so even though they're supposed to be like Halloween shirts, but who knows? I might leave that one on there.
I liked it.
We also have the 2 designs where all the proceeds of that, even if it's $10 or $12.50, is going to go to a local recovery efforts for Hurricane Helene, because it's still a mess out there, y'all.
Yeah.
A friend of mine that lives in Asheville sent me some photos. She takes a walk after work every day, and it's still really bad. It's still really bad. There's still like a van. She sent me a picture of a van that's went off a bridge, and it's like
buried.
No, it's not buried. It's just sitting on its grill straight up and down like this.
Wow.
Vertically instead of horizontally like it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been there since the hurricane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Kind of like the tractor trailer that's right down from us.
Yeah, the one still down there on 209 forever and a day. Let's see. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/paranormal lovers, where for just $5 a month, you get early access to unedited videos of both shows, usually released on Fridays, as well as 2 stickers a month, one from our merch store and one handmade by Ian.
Yep.
And finally, if you have a personal story, whether it be paranormal, true crime, or historical, you have a topic request, or you just want to yell at us for our super liberal views, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. And that's all I have for the busyness, I think. Is that all I'll have for the business?
What did you like about this week?
Oh, yeah. I forget we do that on this show. We have 2 shows, and I forget which ones we do. It hasn't been too terrible having Patty home.
Yeah.
I got to go take her shopping and get her some new clothes, and like she puts on bigger clothes, and my brain's like, look at how grown up she's getting. And I'm like, no. She's still 7. She may look like she's going on 17, but she's 7. Damn it.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting week being home with her.
Right.
I honestly can't say that I loved it, but it hasn't been terrible either.
Yeah.
Me and her got along pretty good this week. So
That's
something
good.
about when Daddy gets home, she like wants to show her ass more, because Mama's, I don't want to say I'm an authoritarian parent, but like I'm the more disciplinary parent, while Ian's more just the type to beg and weep if she doesn't. Yeah, you will.
Right.
But that's only because if he doesn't, he's going to beat her into a bloody pulp. We can't have that. So he's never hit her. He's only hit her once. And that's less than I have. I promise you that. So, but we don't do that anymore, which is why he'll just weep, because she won't listen. He'll be like, God damn it, I'm trying not to kill you. Oh, no, wait, that's me. What did you love about this week?
This week, well, we kind of like, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving because, its origins are questionable.
Questionable? Hell, no, they ain't. We'll get into it. Don't worry. Not on this episode, but
I enjoyed, spending time off with my family.
Yeah.
I hope you guys did too.
Of course. I hope everybody had a wonderful Eat Food Day. I know that for the indigenous communities, a lot of them, it's National Day of Mourning.
Yeah.
Versus Thanksgiving.
Actually, I watched that the other night.
You watched some of it on YouTube?
Yeah, I watched some on YouTube because they have a statement released by Lwyd Peltier every year.
Yeah.
It's read by it was read by a grandfather, but now his grandson's doing it. So it's kind of cool.
I swear to God, Biden needs to fucking pardon him.
I know, right?
And let him out of prison before he leaves office.
One of them needs to.
He won't.
Right.
But he needs to. Hell, Obama should have fucking done it.
Lwyd Peltier is the oldest political prisoner.
Yeah. He's what, 80 something?
Yeah.
Something, I don't know. He's been in there too long for something that he did not do.
Yep.
He did not murder those 2 FBI agents.
It was proven in the court case that he didn't do it, and you're just like, oh, why did he get convicted then?
Because the justice system is legal slavery, folks.
Yeah.
And they want as many brown people as they can get. But once we're all locked up, they're coming for the poor white man. So y'all watch your ass. I'm just saying.
Right.
You know it as well as I do.
For
They got
sure.
everybody bickering and fighting about race and stupid shit, when in reality it's
just rich and
it's
poor.
race and money.
Yeah.
Race and money. If you ain't a rich white man, you have to have both. You have to be rich and white.
Yeah.
Because eventually, when the brown folks is gone, they're going to go after the poor folks.
Yeah.
Y'all have fun. All right, Bill. What you got for us?
Today, episode 25. We're gonna
95.
95. Did I say 25?
Dude, you did that last week too.
Not all here.
Is it because we're going into 2025? Your brain's kind of like rattled.
Maybe. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas tradition and also the legend of the zombie Christmas horse.
The zombie Christmas horse. It's
It's
what zombie Jesus rides when he comes to visit.
Right. So it's basically the Welsh tradition of Mary Lwyd.
Mare.
Mare Lwyd. In South Wales, they have a waysailing folk custom named Mare Lwyd. Waysailing comes from cider making regions in the UK. The word originates from an Old Norse word that means good health. Waysailing is usually done on the 12th night after Christmas, but can be done anywhere in late December to February.
Would you like to explain for people what waysailing is?
I think I defined it in here.
Okay.
But go ahead if you have a definition of it.
It's just caroling, isn't it? It's just like another word for caroling.
It's kind of complicated.
Okay.
It's like a big long thing it's kind of like caroling. It's kind of like I'll get into it.
I was just like, that's a word.
It's
Not all
it's
of us
linked
know what that
very
means.
much so to Mare Lwyd.
Gotcha.
But
I gotcha.
And there's like a bunch of different ones, but we'll get into it. Waysailing usually done on the 12th night after Christmas, but can be done anywhere in late December to February. So it's like a long thing.
2 months.
And like people don't do it at different times. Like different villages do it at different dates. And the event usually involves the marching of people through towns or orchards, all the while singing and drinking of the spirits. Which that involves a bunch of different things too. Mare Lwyd is a waysailing custom where the participants make a hobby horse, usually made from the skull of a horse, mounted on a pole and carried by an individual hidden underneath a sheet. So they dress up a horse skull, and if you guys have ever seen a horse skull, it's like big.
It is. I feel like I've actually seen videos of parades with this
that's Mare Lwyd
character, I guess. I don't know what you would call her in a parade, but yeah, I feel like I've definitely seen, and not necessarily just with them like holding it on a stick, but I've seen other. If I ever come across one on Instagram again, I'll share it with you. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. And terrifying.
I mean, it depends on what you've been doing in your life, I think.
I guess so. The first recorded Mare Lwyd was discovered around the 1800s, but was supposedly started around the early 12th century, which this whole thing gets kind of debated back and forth about for like years. The tradition would consist of one or two people underneath the sheet to carry the Mare Lwyd, and 2 people to accompany the horse around local areas during Christmas time. The 2 people that accompanied the Mare Lwyd would be dressed as stock characters such as Punch and Judy. Have you ever heard of Punch and Judy?
I have not.
Punch and Judy was a traditional puppet show during the 1600s in England. So you ever seen the little puppet shows, kind of like the one Patty was at the museum that we went to?
Are you talking about down there in Savannah?
Yeah, in
I
Savannah.
gotcha. Yeah.
It was a puppet show in the 1600s that featured Punch, who was a slapstick comedy character known for his anarchist and violent clowning. Judy was the one on the receiving end of Punch's jokes and was Punch's wife.
Okay, that's not fun.
But back to the Mare Lwyd, the people in the Mare Lwyd party would carry the horse from house to house and then proceed to request entry to their house through a song. The house owners would then be expected to deny the entry of the Mare Lwyd, again by singing a traditional song. They would continue these responses. The Mare Lwyd would request entry, and then the homeowner would deny it again in song. And this would kind of go on and on until the homeowner would usually concede, and the Mare Lwyd would be allowed to enter the house. And if they got into the house, they would be offered food and drink once they were let inside, or kind of obligated to feed and give them booze.
Right.
The custom has various names, but was best known as the Mare Lwyd. The name Mare Lwyd has been debated as well. The folklorist Lwyd C. Pete believed that the term meant Holy Mary, while another folklorist, E.C. Caught, thought it more likely that Mare Lwyd originally meant gray mare.
That makes sense.
Referring to the horse's appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Some folklorists, such as Pete and Ellen Ettlinger, believed the tradition dated back before Christianity and was a pagan religious tradition. In the county of Kent in southeast England, they call the tradition the hoodening.
All right.
Right.
That could go a lot of different ways. I'm just saying.
In the Cotswolds area in south central England, they call it the Broad, and traditionally use a bull's head instead of a horse's head.
I'm sorry, a vole's head?
A bull.
Bull. I was like, you said vole, and I was like, a little itty bitty rodent? What?
Couldn't even see him.
Bull makes more sense, and that would be more terrifying to me than a skeleton horse head. I love horses, so a skeleton horse head ain't gonna bother me. A skeleton bull head?
I don't know. There's something about a horse with like the 2 front teeth that come out like this is like
it doesn't
terrifying.
Maybe because I played Skyrim too much. I don't know. The skeleton horse doesn't bother me, but
right.
Something about a bull, especially if it's got the horns attached to it.
Mm-hmm. Which they usually left the horns. So.
Bitch.
In another area in England, in the forest of Rosendale in Lancashire, northwestern England, they call the tradition the Old Ball, and is held during Easter instead of Christmas. In another area, the folk custom is called Old Tup, and a ram head is used instead of a horse. This is typically in the East Midlands of England and is held around Christmas time. Northeastern England, they call the folk custom Old Horse. Most of these traditions were very, very similar. Each one created their own hooded animal or hobby horse and would conceal their carrier under a sackcloth. This tradition in the early to mid 20th century was opposed by local Christian clergy and went into decline, but came back at the latter half of the century. The Mary Lwyd was typically made out of a horse's skull, decorated with ribbons, and attached to a pole for carrying. They would also attach a white sheet to the back of the skull to conceal the carrier. Sometimes they would make the skull from wood or make it out of paper. Also, some would attach a spring to the jaw, so it would like snap shut. A spring or a string. So yeah, it kind of make the mouth work. It's terrifying.
That does
to
sound
me.
pretty cool to me.
Like,
it's like snap,
snap, snap,
snap.
Yep. I can just imagine a dead horse coming in the house and snapping his teeth, getting all up in your face.
I'm still picturing the parade.
Right. Some people would put bottles or pieces of glass in the eye sockets to make the eyes all look
sparkly and shit.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Many of the locals would all come together for the tradition to decorate and make the hobby horse used for the Mary Lwyd. So like the whole town would throw in on making this thing. The tradition was usually held around Christmas and New Year's, but varied from village to village. Also, this tradition could go on for many nights in some places. So like they'd make like week-long parties out of this. I wonder how many kids were traumatized by it.
Not that many.
One of the more unique accounts of the Mary Lwyd comes from Gower Peninsula in southwest Wales, where they would bury the horse head all year long and then dig it up the night of the Mary Lwyd. The custom would begin when the sun went down and would last long into the night. It would usually be around 4 to 7 men, decorated with colorful ribbons and rosettes, on their clothes. They would wear a broad sash around their waists. The leader was usually dressed kind of more suave than the rest of them.
Yeah.
And he would carry a staff, a long stick, or a whip. The others consisted of merry men who would play music during the festivities, and other characters, like I mentioned before, Punch and Judy, who were played by men usually. Punch and Judy would usually, I found this weird too, they would usually have blackface and were brightly dressed. Punch would carry a long metal fire iron, which we call them fire pokers.
Yeah.
And Judy would carry a besom, which is another word for broom, which I didn't really know. The party would approach their neighbor's house and start singing to request entry into the neighbor's house. I say we start this tradition in our park, just so the neighbors would be terrified of us.
Just minus the blackface.
Right. The neighbor would then make up reasons or excuses for the team not to enter. The party would then break into a second verse, and they would battle back and forth in song to request and deny entry. This battle in song was known as the PWNCO. Ponko?
PWNCO.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ponko.
And was similar to flighting, which I didn't know what it was. It's a contest consisting of two parties battling by exchanging insults in verse.
It's a rap battle, bro.
Yeah, it's a rap battle.
They're rap battling. That's exactly what they're doing. They're rap battling.
Or like mama jokes.
Yo mayor jokes. It's not yo mama jokes, it's yo mayor jokes.
Right. This would continue until neighbors ran out of reasons to deny the party entry. At that time, the group will be allowed in and would be obligated to feed and give them ale. If the occupants decide to let the Mary Lwyd in, it is said that the house and its occupants would have good luck for the upcoming year.
Nice.
One account, the Mayor Lwyd was let in, and Punch and Judy characters would cause a noise. Punch would tap the ground to the rhythm of the music. He would also rap at the door with his fire poker, like ping, 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 ping. And Judy would brush the ground, walls, and windows with her broom. So that right there sounds kind of paganistic to me, to
It
like
does.
get out bad spirits.
I mean, you did nail up 2 brooms above the doors for me yesterday, so.
One story says that the house occupants would make Punch promise not to touch their fireplace before he could enter the building, or the consequence would be he would rake out their fire before he left. The Mayor Lwyd would also act mischievous, sometimes stealing things and chasing people she likes. So the horse would be all crazy up in there. Sometimes there were no interactions between the party and the homeowners. They would just let them in at the first verse.
They're just like, yeah, fine, get in. I
All
don't
right,
care.
come on in.
I don't feel like singing today.
After being let in, the Mayor Lwyd would entertain the occupants by running around neighing and snapping its jaws. So terrifying. I couldn't do it.
You think it's terrifying, and I bet you $1 those kids are sitting there laughing their ass off, probably thinking that is the funniest shit they've seen all week.
Probably.
You're like, oh, the Mayor Lwyd, you're so funny. Snap, snap, snap.
It says that a lot of times it would create havoc and frighten the children and me.
I'm just a twisted kid, I guess.
The leader of the party would act like he is restraining the horse, all while the merry men were playing songs and singing. To some folklorists, the Mayor Lwyd custom had become indistinguishable from waysailing, as I described.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing. It's just with a horse.
Yeah, just with a horse skull.
Right. The debate whether the Mayor Lwyd was a Christian custom or a festival derived from pre-Christian religions is long-winded. Like, people have been trying to figure that out, but they just can't because there's not enough evidence. In 1888, David Jones suggested that the Mayor Lwyd was once part of the Feast of the Ass. Like, do you know what that is?
A birthday party for Andrew Jackson? No.
It was a festival related to the flight into Egypt of Mary and Joseph that was usually held on January 14th. The Mayor Lwyd, according to David Jones, was a representation of the donkey that Mary rode during the story, which, you know, I thought that it was a donkey, not a horse, right?
Yeah. Mary rode a donkey, but this is supposed to be a horse.
Right. But other scholars say that Mayor Lwyd means Grey Mary, saying that it kind of made them think of the pregnant horse that was set out of the stables when Mary arrived to have Jesus, and that it spent dark days roaming the land trying to find somewhere new to have a foal.
That makes me sad.
It does make me sad.
Like, have your baby in there with the horse. It's fine.
Right. There's really no doubt that the Mayor Lwyd was a pre-Christian tradition, though, because it was like already going on by then.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you cannot pay me to believe that Christians are going to go digging up a horse skull
or wearing it around
and wear it around while they're screaming and yelling and singing. Bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit, Bobby. That's bullshit.
There's really no recorded history of it, though, but by the time the tradition was recorded, it had been emptied of its religious contents. So, like, nobody remembered what it was about.
From the pagan days?
From the pagan days.
And I'm sure if there was, like, written word of it anywhere, it was probably destroyed when, like, the Crusades and shit happened. So, ain't no telling.
The church had a really strong influence on England back then, but
still does.
Right. Some people say that the mare Lwyd was supposed to represent a death horse, and that it was used in the festival of Samhain.
Bro,
What?
it's pronounced Samhain.
Samhain.
Don't ask me why. I don't know. I don't know why it's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. I
Right.
promise.
Okay.
Get it.
In the Adventure Time show, a white horse skeleton dressed in a ranger outfit represents death. So he plays death in that
I
show.
was struggling to remember that.
You don't remember that?
Like vaguely, but I feel like there's another horse thing that I'm getting it mixed up with.
You're probably getting it mixed up with the Lech.
Lech. What's that from?
It's like the main villain in Adventure Time. The big skeleton thing.
Nope. I'm thinking of Centaur World. Sorry. The big blob. The big thing with the big black blob with the skull on its face. That's like her general or some shit.
Right.
In the end. Sorry if you haven't seen Centaur World. Go watch it. Centaur World.
All right. In one Welsh translation of Grey Mare, connects it to Celtic mythology of pale horses, who are horses that can mystically cross over to the underworld. Mare Lwyd is also connected to the Welsh living tradition of death brio. It says that the darkest days of winter spirits, or in the darkest days of winter, spirits are said to walk the earth in the land of the living. People would hunker down in their homes by the fire to keep away from the biting cold. It is then that the mare Lwyd would come to chase away the darkness. They hear snapping teeth and ringing bells. Those were the sounds of the mare Lwyd and her party. The party starts to rattle the windows, and after opening the doors, the occupants see the mare with her glass bottle eyes, and they're all transported from this world to hers in a place in between places. Through carols and poetry, this ritual is of liminality.
I'm not sure.
And is a conversation between life and death. The mare chases away old and clears the dead to make ready for the new life of the new year. The mare Lwyd does her deed, closes the door for old spirits, and blesses the house and its occupants. And after a bit of merrymaking, is chased away by the occupants to go back to the world between worlds.
So she doesn't really sound like bad.
No.
Like she just kind of like hanging out, doing some shenanigans.
Kind of like stories of people meeting death.
Kind of almost, yeah. And it's more like she's just like a conduit.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's just there to be like, hey, you gotta go. It's time to go. The New Year's coming. You gotta go. Okay, bye. And then she like runs around the house. She's all like, nay, snap, snap, snap. Oh boy.
You can still experience the tradition in some towns in England today if you like eerie stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm down for it.
These traditions are also still represented in modern culture and some of our Halloween and Christmas traditions, because it's very similar to Halloween where we go door to door.
Oh yeah. My brain was like, huh? That makes a whole lot of sense.
Right. And, a lot of our Christmas traditions, like covering things in bows and bells.
Yeah. And there's also like
merrymaking
in any religion or culture that you look at, especially in the northern hemisphere. I can't say much about the southern, but the winter time and the solstice time, it's just a time where you kind of have to
get people together.
Well, you have to get people together, but you also kind of like have to like, I don't know, come up with stories and stuff to keep yourself from going crazy because it's like cold outside and they
Yep.
didn't have the internet and the TV and shit.
No,
What were they
they
gonna
didn't.
do? Sit by the fire and whittle all winter?
Right.
Like, come on now. They had to get out there and like enjoy it. And then like when the solstice actually came, they knew that light was returning.
Yep.
So it was time to celebrate, like the darkness was finally going to come to an end.
Yeah.
And back then, you know, people died. A lot of people died in the winter.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Winter meant death for many, many people.
Yeah.
So that's where all this weird shit comes from.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people fucking croaked in the wintertime. And if I didn't have a heat, I would probably croak too. Actually, I wouldn't.
Same. I would. You know, I would.
Well, you know, I wouldn't, because when you met me, I was living in a house that didn't have no heat.
Right.
So that sucked.
Mhm.
Trying to use a damn kerosene heater, the wick was damn crooked on it and shit, and it would catch fire, and oh god, it was terrible. I don't miss living like that at all.
Right.
Not at all.
The Mare Lwyd will always be a debated topic, though. No one knows what it held before Christianity. What do you guys think about this terrifying tradition?
I don't think it's terrifying. I think
No,
it's quite interesting.
it is interesting. There's like lots of different ones, and they all do different things,
Mm-hmm.
which is strange, except for the whole dressing up a horse.
That's kind of similar
That's
throughout
like
everything.
similar throughout all of them.
You got to have the horse. The horse is the linchpin of this
It's either
legend.
it's either a horse or like a hooded animal of some sort, which is creepy.
This is interesting. Not sure why an animal would be hooded. I mean, I've seen like horse hoods and stuff before, but not like that.
Right.
I don't know. Is that all you got for us this week?
That's it. That's
That's
the story
awesome.
of Mare Lwyd.
Marilyn Wynn is awesome. I do not think she's creepy at all. I don't
No.
know what's wrong with you, you little wimpy little man. He's like, I'm scared of the horse lady.
I'd be scared to death.
I don't know why. It's
You're
just
like,
a zombie horse.
It's death.
Just think of it as, I don't even remember what his name is. The horse from that place in Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like ride him around and stuff, or you gotta like find his body or some shit or something.
Artex or something.
Yeah, something like that. Just think it's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, oh, you're that guy from Skyrim. Cool. Bet. Please don't eat my face.
Yeah.
Quit snapping at me. Why are you snapping at me? All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Get in the holiday season. If y'all want to hear something really funny, and if you haven't, please go listen to Rethinking Our History this week. There was emus.
Yep.
There was a war against the emus.
The great emu
That
war.
shit is funny. That shit's funny. All right, guys. We appreciate you joining us this week, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.